a Gastonia native. Our next inductee is the winningest basketball coach in Florida State University history with a record 460 wins. He ranks 5th all-time in victories in the ACC and is one of only 4 coaches in the league with 200 or more regular season wins. During his 23 seasons at the helm, the Seminoles advanced to the postseason 17 times, including a run of 9 straight from 2006 through 2014. A 3-time National Coach of the Year, his teams at Oklahoma State, Miami, and FSU had a graduation rate of more than 97%. Please welcome to the hall, Leonard Hamilton.
All right, Coach Ham, how about that 97% graduation rate all those years? Tell us about that.
Well, I grew up in an area where getting your education was very important. My father went to the 9th grade, my mother went to the 7th grade, and my father was always upset because he was teaching college graduates how to do their job. And he told me very plainly, if you want to make it in this world, you got to be educated. And he didn't want me to be like him. So I take it seriously. And I graduated, I adopted my brother Willie. He went to college, he met his wife in college. Both his kids go to college. My brother Barry go to college, my sister Pam, my brother John. It changed the whole culture of our family. And I try to treat my players the same way.
This was your first year out of coaching. How'd it go your first year? How was it?
But the first thing I want to say is how happy I am to be here. And as I walk through the crowd, people are nodding at me, saying nice things. And that's unusual.
In North Carolina, it's unusual in North Carolina, isn't it?
Most of the time, they're telling me to sit down, shut up. And we won a couple of games here. And I was thinking about the names everybody called me from the stands. And I autographed something, I put, "Damn it, Hamilton." But seriously, it's nice to come when I don't have people screaming and hollering at me and fussing with me. So thank y'all very much for being so nice to me.
You know, I've covered your teams for a long time, so I've had the great honor of learning from you, but I also have not just learned some X's and O's and some basketball stuff. You know, I always call you the world's most interesting man. You've got a lot of stuff going on off the floor. Tell us a little bit about some of the things that you do that intertwine with your ability to be the kind of teacher that you've been over the years.
Well, I grew up about 40 yards from my church. And every time the door opened, we were in it. I thought that played such a major role in my development, developing the moral compass that it takes to be successful in our society. And I took that seriously. And getting my education and then creating the atmosphere, developing that culture that it takes to create the atmosphere, everybody can get the most out of who they are, has always been important. I have so many family members here tonight, and it's significant in the fact that I have, in my coaching journey, I never had a chance to spend very much time with my family. Unfortunately, it wasn't always good when we had to get together. So to have my nieces, my nephews, my 3 brothers, my cousins, I even have my blue-eyed soul brother there, Mr. Chad Price from Mako Medical. He's hanging out with me tonight. So I'm happy that this occasion brings us all together. I don't get a chance to do that. And of course, I got the number one person in my life is my wife, and Claudette Hamilton, you know. I'm not going to try to dominate this conversation, but I have to say this. As coaches, you know, you miss Thanksgivings, you miss Christmas, you miss anniversaries, you miss birthdays, and we don't make this unless we have a partner at home that tolerates and is patient to allow us to do what we do. Even sometimes when you're home, you know, you're there physically, but mentally you're somewhere else. So I'd like y'all to help me celebrate my wife tonight, and let's give her a round of applause, all right?
Where is she? Stand up. That's nice.
Now we can get back. You in control now, okay?
Usually I would say that's not going to affect playing time, but you should be in good shape, right? No, it's not going to affect your playing time.
I bet
when
you
say
I'll be
nice
good
things.
for at least 2 weeks.
You mentioned to me earlier, I know what family means to you. You just mentioned some of the sacrifice that comes with the time commitment that it requires. What are you doing now to make up for it?
Well, I'm getting ready to get ready to get ready. That's my job now. I have plans, but I want to have a plan and I want to have it organized. I'm preparing to do a book about my journey, but I want it to be interesting and life applicable, and hopefully we can gain some wisdom through overcoming challenges.
You don't have to give us the whole thing, but give us a few cliff notes of what your book's going to be. Tell us about that journey a little.
Well, obviously, coming through the 60s and segregation, the trying to find a way to overcome those challenges and not be bitter. My father never said one negative thing in our home about anything and anybody. He only just wanted to be paid the same thing for doing the same job. And he was always encouraging me to be open-minded and not make any excuses and outwork everybody and don't come to him complaining about anything. So I wanted to be a book that you can read, understand, and enjoy, but also teach you life lessons.
What is it about sure, I mean, we're all going to buy it, right? I mean, you got a title?
Excuse me?
Do you have a title for your book yet?
Not yet.
Well, we can provide some suggestions from the audience later on. I mean, I'm sure we've got a couple of people out there.
I change every week. I thought I had it for a while, and then I didn't like it.
What is it about Gastonia and the western part of the state? I saw Coach Williams here. I saw Sylvia Hatchell's here. There's been some great Hall of Famers that are in the North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame that are from the western part of the state.
Well, you know Sylvia's my homegirl. And we hugged so much out there for a minute ago, I had to make sure I looked around, make sure there wasn't no cameras. But one thing about that area, at one point in time, the Gaston County was one of the top textile industrial incorporated areas in the world. I think maybe second or third somewhere in Switzerland. So you had plenty of meals, you always could get a job, but you really couldn't make any money. So we all kind of survived at a certain level. But you had to have a certain amount of toughness. You know, you had to have a certain focus, and you know, it wasn't an affluent community. And so you lived that way, but it toughened you out. It made you understand you had to overcome challenges. And I think that's why you've had so many great athletes come out of there and so many outstanding people, because of the focus that they've learned through the process. See, in life, everybody wants to make progress, but nobody wants to embrace the process. But in the process, there's learning, growing, development, confidence that goes through the process, and I think that's what you get when you come out of the gas house.
You're in numerous Hall of Fames. You've been recognized a lot. What does this one mean to you?
It means an awful lot to me because, you know, I left North Carolina in 1968, and I always would come back to surprise my mother for about a day and a half. Other than that, I've been grinding. You know, I've been grinding. I've been fortunate enough to have good jobs, be under good mentors, learn, and have some measure of success. But to come back home and be around people who now not throwing knives at me and not screaming at me, this is a very pleasant experience. I'm kind of liking it. Y'all need to keep this kind of atmosphere up. I like it.
Tyler Hansbrough's in the class with you in 2026. How many points do you think he scored on you during the 4-year career?
Well, Tyler and I had a real conversation about that earlier today. I think one game we held them to 8, and another game we held them to 10, but he got a whole lot of rebounds. You know, you ask him when he come out, you know, and see what he says.
Coach, you have basketball touch points all across your career in many different decades and has spanned many different changes in our world. And there's a lot of people in here that I know have meant the world to you. Who would you specifically like to thank for your incredible journey?
Well, I'll have to thank my family for the patience they had with me, the sacrifices that they've had, my wife, my children, but my extended family, Mount Zion Baptist Church, on the corner of Morrison and Allison, where everybody's somebody and Christ is all.
Coach, thank you so much for everything you've done to revolutionize basketball in a lot of different ways and the changes that you've been able to make in the game and the young men that have had a chance to experience time with you. Congratulations on being inducted into the North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you very much.